Well, the ruling's certainly been welcomed by the Conservative CDU and the business-friendly FDP, who originally put forward the constitutional complaint. They say that the cap was never the right move to take in terms of tackling Berlin's housing crisis, and instead they want to focus on building. But the exact aim of this rental cap was to offer Berlin some breathing space while it built more apartments. So this has been a huge blow, of course, to Berlin state government. That's run by a coalition, a left-leaning coalition of the Social Democrats, the Greens and the Left Party, and not to mention the 1.5 million households that have been affected by this rent cap, which kicked in February 2020. So one of the big worries now is that many renters will now face immediate hikes of possibly hundreds of euros a month. But on top of that, in November 2020, landlords here in Berlin were also forced to lower excessively high rents, which exceeded a prescribed limit that had been set out by Berlin's Senate. So some tenants may now face huge back payments, and so landlords are able effectively to demand months worth of back payments. And a recent poll by a bank here, Sparkasse Bank in Berlin, suggested that only around half of people who have been affected by these lower rents have actually saved the money for the eventuality that this rent cap was overthrown. So there are concerns now that people won't be able to afford the back payments, and there are expected actually to be some demonstrations on the streets of Berlin this evening as well.
Kate, are authorities expecting loads of people to move now as a result of this?
Well, it's back to the drawing board for now. This has been an issue pretty much since the fall of the wall, this goal of maintaining the social mix in Berlin and making sure that there is affordable housing here in Berlin. You might remember quite some time ago now, in 2003, the Berlin mayor at the time described Berlin as being poor but sexy, and that is really a phrase that became part of Berlin's identity for a long time, trying to maintain this social mix. But that has become increasingly harder as bigger businesses move to Berlin, and even just in the last decade, rental prices here have doubled, and that's been a huge blow to renters here. And only about 18% of residents here in Berlin actually own an apartment, so it really is very much still all about renters here in Berlin. But it isn't just in the capital where there's a housing shortage. This is a nationwide issue, and today's decision has been closely watched in other states as well, and is certainly likely now to become a huge election issue as well as we get closer to September's federal elections.